Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all are doing great. I am Neha Rajvanshi and I welcome you all in today's class, that is English class of class 8th. So students, we have started with our new topic of grammar syllabus. This topic is modals, and in the previous two videos we have seen some of the modals, we have discussed some of their different uses, and yes, we have covered so many examples also. So I hope all the modals that we have discussed till now, they all are very much clear to you all. And in today's video also we will continue with the same topic. In this video also we will cover the rest of the models, we will see their uses, and yes, we will discuss their examples also, and we will complete this topic in our today's video. So now let's begin our video that is based on this topic, that is modals. So now students, we are having new model with us. So let's see. Now we will talk about ought to. So this is the another model that we are having here. So students, you can observe here that we are having two words in this model. The name of the model is ought to. So here to, this is also the part of this model name. Okay, so now let's see what this model, that is ought to, this model is used for. Ought to refers to present, past or future tenses. So here we are having a very important thing about ought to, and that thing is that this model ought to, it can be used in all the tenses, it can be used in all the times. Yes, it can be used in present time, in past time and in future time as well. Ought to is used for, and now we are having the different uses, that how can we use ought to in a sentence. So let's see the first use. It is used to denote the sense of moral duty and moral obligation and ethical values. So here we are having the first use of ought to, and according to this point we are having here that this model ought to, it is used to express the sense of moral duty whenever we are talking about moral obligation, or if we are referring some or other ethical values, then we can use this model, that is ought to. And here students, I am sure that you all are able to recall that these are the words moral obligations, duties, ethical values. These words we have seen before, these words we have read already in one other model, right? Yes, and that was model should. Okay, should में भी हमने ये use पढ़े हैं कि जो should है वो हम use करते हैं to show moral duties, obligation, ethical values. Similarly, this model, that is ought to, this is also used to express these things. They are moral duty, moral obligation, or we can say ethical values. So in this manner we can say that ought to is just like the model should. Like should, it is used to show moral duties, obligation. Similarly, ought to, it is also used to show these things. And now we are having some of the example here to clear this thing. So let's read. The first example is we ought to love our neighbors, or there can be country also. So here we can see first of all that we have to use these two words ought to together, because ought to, these two words make one model. Okay, so हमें ought to ये दोनों words एक साथ हमें use करने हैं. So we are having here that we ought to love our neighbors, or we can say country. Next example we are having all ought to keep their character. So here we are talking about moral duties, obligations, so we can say ethical values, and we are using this model, that is ought to express all these things. Okay, moving on, we are having second example here with us. So let's see. It is used to express assumption, or we can say probability. So whenever we are talking about assumption, whenever we are doing some kind of assumption, right, when we are assuming something or we are trying to show probability of something, then also we can use this model, that is ought to. How? Let's see the examples. First example is he ought to be a sincere boy. So here we are having this kind of assumption. We are assuming this thing, and we are assuming about one boy, and we are saying that he ought to be a sincere boy. Okay, one more example. This ought to be Mohan's car. Again, we are assuming this thing. We are showing the probability of this thing, that this car, it ought to be Mohan's car. So in this manner, we can use this model, that is ought to. Moving on, now we are having another use of ought to with us. So let's see, ought to have. So here we are having this particular structure in which ought to it is used with have. So now let's see, ought to have with a past participle, it is used to indicate a past obligation that was not fulfilled. So if we are having such kind of a structure in a sentence, when we are having ought to plus have and after that we are having a past participle, so that means in that sentence we are trying to show, we are trying to indicate a past obligation that was not fulfilled. Alright, so let's see the example to clear this thing. How can we use this structure in a sentence? So we are having here, he ought to have been more careful. So here we are talking about one past thing and we are saying that he ought to have been more careful. It means we are talking about one person and he was not careful, and now we are saying that he ought to have been more careful. Alright, one more example, he ought to have worked hard. So again we are having ought to have, again we are having past participle with us and we are talking about one of the past obligation, we are talking about one of the past thing that actually didn't happen and we are saying that he ought to have worked hard. So actually that person, he did not work hard, and now we are saying and we are referring the past time and we are saying that he ought to have worked hard. Okay, so this is the structure ought to have, and with this we have to use past participle, and with the help of this structure we can indicate some of the past obligation that was not fulfilled in the past time, and we can refer that action in the present time using this structure. Okay, and we have discussed the examples also. Now one more use of ought to we are having. So let's see, it expresses a strong possibility just like must. So must, it is also one of the modal that we will read further. So another use of ought to is that with the help of ought to we can express a strong possibility just like we express with the help of must. So let's see the example. The example is, it ought to be in your bag. So with the help of ought to we can show strong possibility of something just like must is used for, and the example we are having here that it ought to be in your bag. So we are showing the possibility of this thing, that this thing it ought to be in your bag only. Okay, so these are the different uses of ought to. So one important thing we are having here, that ought to it is majorly used just like should. Okay, when we are trying to show some or other moral duties, moral responsibilities, or we can say ethical values, then we can use should also, and then we can use ought to also. Okay. Moving on, now we are having another model with us. So this model is must. So now we will talk about must. So let's read what we are having here. Must refers to the present and the future tenses. So yes, must, this model is used in the present time and it is also used in the future time, or we can say in the future tenses. And now we are having the different uses of must, that how can we use this model in a sentence. So let's read the first use. It is used to denote compulsion or obligation, or we can say necessity. So this is the important, or we can say the most important use of must that we are having here, and that is that with the help of must we can show compulsion of something. So what is compulsion, student? Compulsion means something that is mandatory for us. It means no option, no other option is available, and that thing is absolutely mandatory for us. So, and whenever we are trying to show such mandatory things, such compulsory thing, then we have to use this model, that is must. And with this model we can show obligations also, we can show necessity also. And yes, we are having certain examples here to clear all these points. So let's read. A servant must obey his master. So students, observe this sentence very carefully. Here we are saying that a servant must obey his master, and just look here that this sentence can have one more structure. We can make this sentence in this manner also, that a servant should obey his master. So when we are using should, then we are only giving one kind of advice. Okay, we are just showing the moral duty of a servant, that yes, he should obey his master. But when we are using must here in this sentence, it means we are trying to show the compulsion, and we are saying that a servant is actually having no other option with him and he has to obey his master, and this is the reason we are using must here to show the compulsion. Okay, next example is I must go there, and in this sentence also we are showing obligation, and that too in the present time. So it means that I am having no other option, I have to go there, चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए, no other option is there left with me, I must go there. So such kind of sentence, whenever we are trying to indicate compulsion, or we can say obligation or necessity of something, then yes, we have to use must in a sentence. I hope this use is clear, and we have discussed the difference between must and should. So yes, we can use should also here, but with the help of should, we are not showing compulsion, but we are just showing the moral duty of a servant. We are just giving advice to a servant. But if we are using must, that means we are showing compulsion. Okay. Next, another use of must we are having here. So let's see. It is used to denote certainty or strong belief, or we can say inevitability. So whenever in a sentence we are trying to show very strong belief of something, we are trying to show certainty of something, and we are trying to show the fact that are totally inevitable, then again we have to use must in a sentence. And let's see the examples to clear the point. The first example is we must die sooner or later, we must all die. So in this sentence, what we are trying to show? We are trying to show one fact that is totally inevitable. It means we all human beings, yes, we have to die one or other day, we have to die sooner or later, and no human being can escape from this fact. No human being can escape from death. So this is the reason we are trying to show inevitability. So we are using must here in a sentence, and we are saying that we must die sooner or later, and we can say in this manner also that we must all die. Okay, another example, everyone must grow old and perish. Again, this is another fact, another true fact that is associated with human beings, that yes, we all are having different phases of life, and yes, we all have to grow old, whether we want it or we don't want it, but this is not in our hand, this is not in our control, and we have to go through all the phases of life. We have to grow old, and one day we have to also perish, and this is also totally inevitable fact, and this is the reason we are using must here in the sentence to show this thing, that this is certainty, this is very strong belief, and this is totally inevitable fact. Alright, so whenever we are trying to show these things, we have to use must in a sentence, and yes, the examples are here in front of us. Moving on, another use of must. So let's see. So it is used to denote determination, or we can say very firm faith, very firm decision. So let's see the examples. I must see you again. Again, we can see that we are using must in a sentence, and with the help of must we are trying to show our firm decision, we are trying to show our firm faith, our determination, and we are saying that I must see you again. It means no matter what, but definitely we are saying this thing, that definitely I will see you again. Okay, next thing, I must have my money back. So it means हमने किसी को अपना money दिया है, and now I am saying this thing that I must have my money back, and with the help of must I am showing this thing that I am totally determined to get my money back, and to show that determination here in this sentence we are using must. Next sentence, I must have my say in this matter. So there is some kind of matter, some kind of discussion discussion is going on and we are saying that I must have my say, I must have to prove my point, I must have to give my opinion in this matter, and yes, to show our determination we have to use must in a sentence. So again we can see this thing that with the help of must we can show very strong faith of something, we can say our thing in a very determined manner, we can express our words in a very firm, in a very strong manner. Okay. Next, another use of must, so let's see, it is used to express duty or a very strong obligation. Again we are having same things. So students, whenever just learn this thing that whenever we are trying to express our opinion, or whenever we are trying to express our things in a very strong manner, in a very determined manner, so always we have to use must. Okay, so again some examples are here with us, so let's read. We must practice virtue. So here we are talking about duty, right? And earlier we have read that should is also used and ought to is also used whenever we are talking about duties, but we can use must also, and when we are using must to show duty, it means that again it is a very strong duty and we have to perform this duty. This is not only one advice, but it is a kind of compulsion that yes, we have to perform this duty. Okay. One more example, we must obey the laws of our country, and again we are having one kind of obligation. So when we are using must, then it is not at all one advice. We are not talking about someone's duty, someone's moral responsibility here, but we are talking about something that is very much important, something that is very much necessary, or we can say something that he or she has to perform, no other option is available. So when we are trying to show such strong beliefs, such a strong fact, or we can say strong determination, then yes, we have to use must in a sentence. Okay. So next use of must, let's see, it is used to express a strong order, or we can say command. So let's see the examples related to this point. You must come on time. So we are giving this kind of order, okay, we are giving this kind of command to someone, and again when we are using must, so we are saying this thing that that person is having no other option, he has to come on time, otherwise he has to face the consequences. Okay. Next is you must not pluck the flowers. Again, if such kind of instruction is written on a board, on a notice board in a park, and must is used there, so it means that if you are plucking the flowers, then definitely you have to pay the fine, then definitely you have to face the consequences. Okay, because must means you are not at all allowed to pluck the flowers, right? And if we are having that you should not pluck the flowers, then it is only one advice. Okay, and हम किसी को advice दे रहे हैं, so we can't expect this thing कि वो इस advice को follow करे या ना करे. But if we are using must, it means definitely he has to follow that thing, otherwise he has to pay. Okay. Next example, we must visit him in the hospital. So again we are having must here in the sentence, and with the help of must we are showing this thing that yes, definitely we have to go to see him in the hospital. So yes, when we are using must in a sentence, then yes, we are trying to show strong order, strong command, or we can say very strong belief. Okay. Moving on, another use of must, so let's see, it is used to show strong possibility. So yes, whenever we are trying to show very strong possibility of something, then again we have to use must. So let's see the examples. So here we can see one comparison between these models that we are having here, must, may and might. So may and might, these two models we have discussed already. I hope you all can recall here. So may and might we have discussed, and must now we are having here. So let's try to understand what is the basic difference that we are having here. Let's read the first sentence, that is, it must rain today. So when we are using must in a sentence, so it means we are trying to show very strong possibility. Same sentence we are having here, but now we are having may in the sentence. The sentence is it may rain today. So when we are having may, it means we are trying possibility but not that strong possibility comparatively to must. So we can say that must, yes, with the help of must we can show strong possibility comparatively to may. Next we are having might. So if we are using might in a sentence, same sentence is written using might here. It might rain today. So with the help of might, what we are showing? We are showing remote possibility. Remote possibility means very less possibility, or we can say very rare possibility. It means that if we are saying might, that it might rain today, so it means there are very less chance that it will rain. If we are using may, it means that yes, we are having possibility that yes, it will rain. And if we are using must, it means that definitely there is a very strong possibility that it will rain today. So this is the difference. Must shows very strong possibility, may shows possibility, and might shows very remote, very less, very rare possibility. Okay, so yes, we can make sentences using any of the model, but as we have discussed already, that models are the words that definitely shows the mood, or we can say attitude of the speaker, and yes, it can modify the meaning of the main verb. So we can see here clearly in a very clear manner that how the use of a certain model can change the meaning of the sentence, right? Must is showing very strong possibility. So we can see here that definitely बहुत ही black clouds and sky में or maybe drizzling हो रही है already, and we are saying that it must rain today. May also shows that yes, the weather is cloudy and we are expecting a very good rain. But when we are using might and we are saying it might rain today, so definitely sky is very clear, weather is very clear, no clouds are today, and we are saying that there is a very less possibility that it will rain today. Alright, clear? So another use of must we are having here. So let's see. So it is used to show deduction, or we can say inference. So let's see the examples. The first one is he has 2 cars. He must be rich. So here in this sentence we are trying to show deduction. So what deduction means? Deduction means whenever we are trying to show some kind of conclusion. Okay. So that means that we are doing the deduction. So here in this sentence we are trying to show our conclusion. So first we said this thing that he has 2 cars. So because of this thing that he is having 2 cars, now we are doing the conclusion that he must be a rich person, right? Next we are having the example that he has answered all the questions. He must be intelligent. Again we are showing the same thing. First of all we said this thing that he has answered all the questions. So now we are having the conclusion that because of this thing we can say that he must be very intelligent because he knew all the answers, he has answered all the questions. So because of that, this is our conclusion that he must be very intelligent. Okay, so in this manner also we can use this model, that is must. So now one more use of must we are having. So let's see, must plus not. So yes, must, it is also used in a negative form also. Yes, it is also used in a negative sentence. So when we are using must plus not, or we can say when we are using must in a negative form, then it shows prohibition, or we can say it shows this thing that we are having no right to do this thing. So let's see the examples to clear this point. You must not smoke at public places. So here we are having must not in the sentence. We are having one negative sentence here, and here we are giving one kind of instruction. Okay, and we are saying that it is totally prohibited. It means you are not at all allowed to do this thing. You are not at all allowed to smoke at public places. So yes, with the help of must we are trying to show this thing that you are totally prohibited to do this thing. Next we are having no one must leave the classroom without my permission. So this is another example of prohibition. So whenever teacher says this thing that no one must leave the classroom, so this is also a negative form of must. So again it means that no one is allowed actually to leave the classroom without the permission of the teacher. So such sentence shows that yes, it is strictly prohibited, and if someone breaks the rule, then definitely you know, he or she, he has to face the consequences, because we are having must in the sentence. It means it is strictly prohibited. Okay. Moving on, we are having next model with us. So now we will talk about used to. So let's see how we can use this model, that is used to. Used to is used to show past habit and situation. So this is the very common use, and we all use this model in this manner whenever we are having our daily conversation. So when we are trying to show past habits, so then we have to use this model, that is used to. So now let's see the examples. The first example is he used to walk in the morning. So first thing is clear here that we have to use you know, this model in the past time only, because we have to show past habits with the help of this model. So yes, this model is used to show past habits. So this is used in the past times only. This is used in the past tenses only. Like in this example, we are saying, and we are talking about one person, and we are saying that he used to walk in the morning. So yes, we are saying that in the past time, not in the present, but in the past time, he used to walk in the morning. Right now he is not performing this habit, but in the past time he used to go for a morning walk. Next we are having Gandhiji used to spend in the afternoon. So yes, definitely we are talking about past time, because Gandhiji, he is there no more with us. So we are talking about past time, and we are saying that when Gandhiji was alive, then he used to spend in the afternoon. Okay, so in this manner we can use this model used to. It is used to show past habits, past things, past situations, and yes, this model is used only in the past tenses. Okay. So now moving on, we are having next model with us. This is need. So student, one more important thing I want to clear here about this model need, that this model need, it is also used as a main verb, and yes, it is also used as a modal auxiliary verb. Okay, so let's read about this model. Need is used to show necessity of something. So as the name, or we can say as the spelling itself tells us that need, it shows necessity of something. Okay, so whenever we are trying to show necessity, or we can say requirement of something, then we have to use this model, that is need. So let's see how can we use this model in a sentence. We are having here, you need to go to supermarket. So here we can see that here in this sentence need, it is used as a model here, it is used as a modal auxiliary here, and we are saying that you need to go to supermarket. It means we are trying to show the necessity of this thing to someone, that it is very much necessary for you to go to supermarket. One more example, they need to wear the school uniforms. Again we are trying to show the necessity of this thing, that yes, it is very much necessary to wear the school uniforms for them. Okay, so in this manner, with the help of need, we can show the necessity of something. And now we can use this word in a negative form also, that is need not. So if we are using need not, if we are using the negative form of need, then what it means, and then how can we use? So let's see. So we are having that need not, it is a negative word, yes, and it is used to show lack of necessity, or we can say obligation. So just like need, it is used to show the necessity. Similarly, need not, it is used to show lack of necessity. Okay, so let's see the examples. He need not buy a motorcycle. So here clearly we can see that need, it is used as a modal auxiliary. Why? Because we cannot see any other helping verb in the sentence. So yes, need, it is one of the main verb also, and it is one of the modal auxiliary also. And how can we identify? Very simple, if it is used as a main verb, then definitely कुछ में sentence में कोई other helping verb, कोई दूसरी auxiliary verb होगी. But अगर sentence में कोई other auxiliary verb नहीं है, it means need, it is the auxiliary itself, it is the modal auxiliary in the sentence, like in this example we are having here. So here we are having negative form of need, and we are trying to show lack of necessity, and we are saying that there is no necessity for you to buy a motorcycle. One more example, you need not take off your shoes. So again we are trying to show lack of necessity and we are saying that it is not at all required. There is no necessity of this thing that you have to take off your shoes. Okay, so in this manner need, it is used in positive sentence also, and yes, it is used in negative sentence also. Okay. Moving on, now we are having next model, or we can say this is the last model of our list, because we have discussed already that we are having 13 models with us. So this is number 13th model, that is dare. Alright, and again dare, it is a main verb also and it is one of the modal auxiliary also. So let's see how can we use this word as a modal auxiliary in a sentence. Dare, it is used to show that someone is courageous enough to do something. So whenever we are trying to show someone's courage, whenever we are trying to show this thing that someone is courageous enough, then we have to use this word dare as a modal auxiliary. So how can we use this word? Let's see the examples that we are having here. First example is, he dared to call me a fool. So here we are talking about one person and we are saying that he was courageous enough that he called me a fool. Okay, next we are having, you dare not touch this wire. So yes, here we are having negative form of dare and we are having dare not, and the sentence is that you dare not touch this wire. So we are saying that this wire is very much dangerous. So we are saying that don't do such kind of, don't perform such kind of courage to do this thing, that is to touch this wire. Next is, dare he say this word to my face. So here we can see that we are having interrogative sentence. So it means that we can use this modal dare in a positive sentence, we can use this in a negative sentence, and yes, we can use this in an interrogative sentence also, like we are having this example with us, that is, dare he say this word to my face. It means we are talking about one person and he must have said some miss word, or we can say bad word, and we are saying that dare he say this word to my face. Okay, so in this manner we can use this model, that is dare, in all the different kind of structures, in positive sentence also, in negative sentence also, and yes, in an interrogative sentence also, and we have discussed all the examples already. Okay, so yes, these are the 13 models that we are having in our English language, and yes, we have discussed all the models. We have seen their different uses and just learned different uses, because all the models, they are used not only in one way, but all the models, they are having so many different uses. So you have to learn, students, all the different uses and also observe the sentence structure very carefully, that I have told you already. Again, I am repeating this thing, that observe the sentence structure, because when models, they are used differently, so the structure of the sentence, it also changes accordingly, it also having some kind of difference, it also having some kind of changes according to the use of the models. Okay, and this is the reason we have seen so many examples, we have covered so many examples to clear the structure also, to clear the uses of the models also. Okay, so now I am sure that this topic, that is models, it is very much clear to you all the models, their different uses, and all the examples that we have discussed, everything is very much clear to you all. And in the next video, we will do some of the practice exercise, we will see some of the sentence in which we have to write the appropriate model according to the mood of the sentence. Okay, so just to be with me and see you in the next video. Thank you.